Karen, roll call, please.
Eastwood Alderman Bob Foster.
Here.
Eastwood Alderman Mark Bowers.
Here.
Mayor Alderman Mitch.
Here.
Westwood Alderman Vicky McHenry. Here. Westwood Alderman Stacy Lee. Here.
If you would please stand for a moment of silent prayer and reflection and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And before we get into business, this is where I'll explain that in response to COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Marshfield is allowing elected officials and select staff to attend in person. However, all other attendees are attending by Zoom. So thank you guys for joining us today. And the minutes were included in the packet. Is there any questions or corrections in the minutes? If not, I will take a motion to approve.
So moved unless else notice on.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. On to expenditures and financial reports. Looks like we're still good on our budgets. Well within tolerances. Unless there are any specific questions or concerns, I'll take a motion to approve. Second. Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And then departmental reports. We have police department, fire department, and building department that's in here. You will note the fire department report is different than maybe what you've seen in the past. After discussions between myself and Michael, I had asked that he include this one, which was readily available from his computer system. There will possibly be changes in the police reports as well in the future, and I haven't talked to him yet, but I was hoping to discuss a little bit more on the building inspections too. So we'll get to those in the future. But if there are no specific questions, I'll take a motion to approve.
The departmental reports.
I think they were just
We
we don't approve?
I do have a question. You guys get like the vast majority, well, not vast majority, but a large majority calls are for extra patrol. Is that just like, hey, I think I saw something over here, or what is that?
If you're out of the, if you saw something suspicious in the neighborhood, if you had problems around your business, if you've got problems in your neighborhood around your homes.
And that is just a normal thing. It's not because we're running low on staff or something like that.
Nothing goes back. Just people wanting maybe a little extra control around a certain area where there might be some crime.
Okay. And we'll go into the COVID-19 update. And Michael?
Hello, how's everybody? I think I got it out. I didn't get it out till late today because some of the numbers were late coming in. So hopefully everybody's got it. So according to CDC, there are reported 3,952,273 cases in the U.S., which is a climb, of which 70,106 are new cases in the last 24 hours. There have been a total of 142,755 deaths in the U.S. so far, of which 1,078 of those are new in the last 24 hours. Currently, Missouri is reporting 37,700 cases. That represents a 3.1% increase over the last 7 days. 1,179 deaths out of 603,284 persons tested. In in Missouri, 114 of 114 counties are reporting. World Health is reporting 15,012,731 cases worldwide with 619,150 deaths. And that's comprised of 216 countries. In Webster County, our cases have pretty much doubled. We currently have cumulative 90 cases in Webster County out of 2,769 persons tested, 4 of which are in the central region, which I know Natalie's going to be showing some numbers on different zones, but those numbers are specific as of this afternoon for just the central region alone. Currently 45 patients are actively ill. 1 patient is hospitalized and 55 have recovered. Along with this, we have 68 pending test results. Approximately 75 are being monitored and approximately 79 are quarantined. And today we've had the 1 related death. The counties are listed there. You'll note that we've jumped up there to that 90 mark. And then Laclede County, you'll note that they were slow to start reporting cases as a neighboring county, but now they've surpassed and the number at 162. The age range under 20 by cases by age, 3,844 in the state. 20 to 29, you'll notice this is our high group right now at 8,099 cases. 30 to 39, 6,192. 40 to 49, 5,239. 50 to 59, 5,268. The 60 to 69 age group is 4,051. 70 plus is 4,948. We did, in the deaths, we did have a death in the under 20 category since the last report. The 20 to 29 has had 8, 30 to 39 has had 8, 40 to 49 is 21, 50 to 59, 75, 60 to 69 is 165, and then as always, the 70 plus population is where the majority of the deaths have occurred, and there's 901. Males, 17,124. Females, 20,302, and then not reported at this point, it's 274 cases. So assumptions and known information based on the percentage of increase, Webster County was earlier this week within the top 10 counties in the state of Missouri with a reported 23% increase over a 7-day period. This is just the first time that's happened. Today, we're not in that top 10, thankfully, but we were. We've seen, of course, a significant uptick in COVID cases since June 17th, and that's being seen statewide as well. Hospital admission rates continue to increase in our region. We're still strongly recommending the wearing a face mask when in public. We still see this as going to be continuing into the fall and winter. Virus will be prevalent for some time. The majority of deaths are in or from nursing homes still, and studies are still showing that antibodies may not provide long-term protection from reinfection. As far as the task force is still monitoring what's going on in the counties and preparing to make any guidelines as necessary. We did have a drive-through testing on the 13th. We had an incredible response. We saw 127 persons to be tested for COVID-19. We did get 5 positive results. Some of those were not within our county, however, and 45 persons were tested for antibodies, and we did receive our first positive antibody result. Drive-through test has also been scheduled for July 27th at the Webster County Fairgrounds. This will also be a test site that's free of charge, doing symptomatic and asymptomatic persons, and we will be drawing blood again for antibodies for anybody who's interested in that. Community information, continue social distancing, avoid large gatherings, avoid long-term care facilities, stay home if you're sick, stay home if you have chronic diseases. Use face masks. Don't delay necessary care, however. and then the symptoms remain the same as on the last reports. State and county actions remain none at this time. Action since the last briefing is participate in COVID-19 task force meetings, reviewed daily briefings, briefed countywide fire chiefs, participated in meetings with local health organizations for coordinating test sites, assisted the task force in developing guidelines for mask usage in pediatric population, and then assisted with a COVID test site. I did add this in here this time. So change in Webster County statistics since last briefing. So our cases since we last spoke with you have increased by 43. Persons tested has increased by 597, and active cases have increased by 22. Prevention measures remain the same. So far as recommendations or considerations, the county as well as Marshfield area is still seeing a significant increase in cases of COVID-19. It's possible that some of this increase could be related to the July 4th holiday and related events throughout the county. Recently, Webster County was listed by the Department of Health and Senior Services being one in the top 10 counties in the state based on percentage of increase. The state of Missouri is seeing record-breaking daily increases totals, and this is true for our neighboring county, Greene. This is concerning to me as many of our citizens travel to Greene County daily to work and return home to our community, which is, in my opinion, increases our community's exposure. At this point, I believe it's important that we remain diligent in continuing our current guidelines and requirements and continue to monitor the progression of this uptick as it moves through. So that is my report. And answer any questions that you guys might have.
Michael, you said we have 45 active and 55 recovered. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm no mathematician, but that's 100 cases. Why are we listed as 90?
Good question. I didn't catch that. That was the numbers I was given today.
10 cases is a big difference in this thing.
Yeah.
90 is accurate and 45 is accurate.
Yeah, I know 45 is correct. I will check on the recovered number. Thanks for pointing it out. I didn't catch it today when I was putting it in.
And one other question, and maybe you don't have knowledge of this, but just curiosity, why is the health department chosen to not use social media to get numbers, locations of possible exposures out to the public, but yet they're using social media to get people to come to like the testing that's coming up on the 27th?
I don't know the specific reasoning. I do know that they moved the information. If you go to their website.
Oh, it's difficult to find, trust me.
I'm sorry?
It's difficult to find. It's not just on the front page of their website. You've got to go to their website. You've got to go to the corner. You've got to pull down. It's not easy to find that dashboard, not like when it was being put out on social media.
Okay. we'll have the task force meeting on Tuesday. When I looked at their website right after they changed to the dashboard, it was a tab right across the top of the screen. Maybe that's changed. I haven't looked at it recently. But that's the way it was. Were you looking at on mobile phone or on computer?
On my phone.
Okay, it may be why. I don't know. It was a tab across the top of the screen when I was looking at it on my PC, but they may have done some changing. I don't know. But I can certainly inquire about that at the task force meeting.
Thank you.
The second sheet of paper that you have that's COVID related is the stats that I talked about last meeting that I was keeping. I'm contacting both Greene County, Webster County, and then some information from the Missouri Hospital Association to track some specific zone changes. So I was asked to keep the zones confidential, but The one zone is more or less, I tried to look at it as city, school district, greater Marshfield area type of a thing. And it'll just give you some idea of how each one of those areas are tracking. The testing completed all comes off that dashboard that's been created. From those numbers, I'm creating the percentage yield positive that's below. You will notice that's trending upward. However, if you remember, the drive-through testing was completed on the 13th. So most of our testing in that area, that 21%, was all done on that one day. And then from there on forward, it would be typical that those tested outside of a mass testing might be symptomatic or been known contacts, had some reason to get tested. So the fact that that percentage is increasing doesn't give me great alarm right now. Granted, it hasn't increased all that much, but it doesn't give me great alarm right now unless we see that that trend doesn't continue. Hospitalization in Greene County is still at 57. Both hospitals have opened up their COVID wards, and our capability score is about 7.6 right now, which is still pretty good. They're tracking strong with PPE, still have enough nurses, enough doctors. So hospitals are in pretty good shape right now, but they are definitely keeping that pace. So that's our COVID update. If there's no other questions, we'll turn it over to Mark. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Pool updates. Hot weather equals popular pools. We have had, we've been open for 18 days and had 3,642 pool admissions in those 18 days. Total sales at the pool has been $26,510.75. 411 people have paid with a credit card at the pool. We have sold 82 season passes. 47 of those were at the pool and 35 have been here at City Hall. Not even open 3 weeks yet, and we've done over $7,000 in concession sales. And we have booked 3 school groups. We've booked 10 private rentals, and we currently have swim lesson registration open. And we were able to offer 81 spots in one session of swim lessons. And we're just over half filled up right now, and they've got all of next week, the rest of this week, the weekend, and next week to sign up. Swim lesson instructor training is next week. We made an online component for that, for any book work and things like that. Then we're going to do one training in the water next Tuesday. We have reached max capacity on one day. That was a couple of weeks ago. And we've hovered up near that capacity mark, but we have not reached that capacity mark. Today we got up to 145, but never reached that capacity.
Okay. Any specific pool-related questions? Thank you, Mark. Next item on here is the grant application. Mel? I think he's muted.
There he is.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing all right. Are you going to walk us through the grant application?
Yeah, let me just first start real quick and remind you. So we talked about this 604B grant opportunity at the last meeting, and so we started an application on that. Just as a reminder, there's $288,000 available in that grant opportunity, and the grants range in amounts of $25,000 to $50,000. And so what we're proposing is to go in and look at your sewer system and basically look at I&I potential that might affect the stream quality, because this grant is focused around stream quality. And so that would do 2 things. One, that would help with stream quality, and we talked about how Marshfield is the top of the watersheds for some major tributaries. And also, it would help you guys with your sewage collection system, because if we could stop some of the I&I, then we would reduce pollution, but we would also reduce the amount of wastewater that you have to deal with at your treatment plant. And it would potentially free up apparently being used during storm events for basically treating stormwater. So that works is those are submitted through SimCog. But essentially would provide the information if you guys vote to move forward with this to SimCog. They will enter that information.
Mel, you're breaking up pretty bad.
On behalf. And so if you choose to, I need better.
I don't think so.
Internet connections. Am I still cut out, guys?
Okay,
Is this connection any better?
seems to be.
Okay. I switched to a different internet connection. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know where you lost me.
At the beginning.
All right, I apologize. So this grant opportunity is there's $288,000 available, and the grant awards are anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. This grant is focused around improving water quality. And so the project that we came up with, brainstorming with staff, is to look at your I&I problems in your sewage collection system, especially those in flood prone areas, and then see if we can reduce your I&I and thereby improve stream quality. And so the actual grant application is due on the 30th. And so if you vote to move forward with the grant application today, then we will present the information to SimCog, and they will actually file that online on your behalf. And so I've got the information, which we can go through if you like, but it's essentially what we would be doing is looking at your collection system in the flood-prone areas, and then investigating I&I potential, and then coming up with solutions to fix it in a plan that you could, over a long period of time or a short period of time, depending on what kind of money you'd want to put into it, you could solve these problems. Now, I've got it written right now for a $50,000 grant application, and then you guys doing some in-kind work, like your guys going out in the field with us to help find manholes, pull the lids while we do inspections and that type of thing. And then thereby, you're not putting a cash match up, but we would be able to show that you are putting a match up, which would improve your odds of getting awarded this. So that's the way we've got it written right now. Now, I don't know that, here's the strategy part of it. I don't know that going after the maximum grant is gonna get you the most likely chance of getting awarded. We may want to consider going for 25,000 or something in the middle grant that might increase your odds, because statewide there's only 288,000. So the chance that you would get 50,000 of the money, that might be less likely. So that's something I'd seek your input on. So if we lower the grant amount, we just reduce the study area. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't get valuable information, because we could work with your staff to identify the areas that we think are worst, and maybe get as much or near as much information with a smaller study.
So the map on the back of this packet, the blue area is where you're going to study for the $50,000?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
If we went for the full 50,000, but it was not available, would they just offer us 25 instead?
I don't know. I can find that out, but I did not ask that question, how that would work.
Is this something that we can approve for applying for the grant up to the $50,000 mark and then let city staff adjust? Or
Like, depending on that response.
Yeah.
exactly, whether they think they can change the area, would that be appropriate?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine with me.
If that's the case, then I'll take a motion.
Move to allow them to proceed with this grant application.
And to change the amounts.
Up to 50,000. Up to 50,000.
Awesome. We have a motion. Second from Vicki. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Mel, we'll let you work with the staff to kind of fine tune where that number could fall.
Okay, I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to them and try to come up with the best solution to increase your odds of getting it.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And next on the agenda is the contract with Lisa McCarthy for the CARES Act funding. So we had talked about the CARES Act funding that's been provided from the state to the county, from the county down to the businesses through the city. And in order to facilitate that, we need a grant administrator. Lisa has done several grants for the city on the FEMA and SEMA area. I asked the staff to write up a contract. This has been through Paul Wink to approve the wording. The pay per hour was based off rates paid to others in other cities that are doing this. Sam called around and got information on that. So we are looking for review or input and approval of this.
So I've got a question.
Okay.
It shows the scope of work and it shows a timeline. We've got 5 months between, let's just say, the 1st of August until the end of December, which is what this termination would be. And I suppose that's because that's when everything would be due, right? We'd have to, that'd be the deadline to get anything.
To award the money.
Okay. To award.
Yes, the county has to have awarded the money or they have to pay it back on December 31st.
Okay, so this is the, in other words, we'll have the money to award to the businesses, the part that's going to come through us, right?
We don't actually get those funds. We are doing the grant administrator and they come through us.
Yeah.
She crosses the T's, dots the I's, and sends it to the county. The county puts a check.
But on behalf of the city.
Correct.
Okay, because otherwise I was wondering why we would be hiring somebody to do something if we're not.
Right.
It's through us.
It is.
Okay. So the question I've got is $20 an hour. Okay, but what's the anticipated amount of time? Because if you look at, you know, if this is full time at $20, that's $16,000, I think, for that period of
Could
time.
be. Correct.
So you're saying it could be $16,000.
It could be.
And
It
so
would
what's-
also be reimbursement.
Be more clear on that. I'm not sure.
These expenses are eligible for reimbursement from the county's CARES Act funding to the city.
Okay. So what would make them not? You'd be saying that it could
If the
be
county
what?
ran out of money before we got the application.
So just trying to understand what expectations to have with any contract, right?
Right.
And one expectation that we would normally have is, well, what do we expect it's going to cost? We know that hopefully we know that the worst case would be, although I wouldn't claim to know that. I'm just basing that on 40 hours a week for 20 weeks.
Unfortunately, I can't really tell you what the interest is going to be. I know there has been an application that's already been dropped off. Have we seen any more than that? Okay, so we've only got one so
And
far.
so what would be, so it would be only, this work would only be in reaction to any applications.
Correct.
Okay. And so it's not really benefit to the city. It's a service provided by the city to try to get these dollars out into the community.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if this has to be expended by the end of the year, people could apply for the grants until that point?
The county will probably cut it off before that. Phase
And
one,
How are we gonna know what our total is to ask for?
so
Until the bidder
the
is
county has
in
split
time
their
to
pot
get-
of money into 2 pots. And pot 1 expires September 15th, I believe. And then they will look at the second half of that and review their rules if they need to and go forward with the second half of the money. So the second half, we don't know the answers to, which will include when is the deadline to get it to the county. That's all in that second phase. I think they're calling it phase 1 and phase 2.
When was the first phase again? I'm sorry.
I think it's September 15th.
Is that already cut off? Or are people still?
No, you
applying
can
for that?
submit up to
Have
September.
they said when the cutoff will be for that? Those applications?
I don't think there's a cutoff, it's as much as, I mean, they had to figure out how to allocate this money, and so and the rules and the guidance are changing almost on a daily basis. So instead of opening it all up, we're trying to distribute it fairly and evenly with the rules that they have. So that next round will be with most likely different rules or updated guidance. So I don't think it's a cutoff. I mean, that was my understanding. It's not so much of a cutoff.
It's a regrouping.
Exactly. Just trying to, okay. And then also the way they distributed the funds was based on our population. Based on the population of the counties or the county in each city or each entity. And so one of those entities may require more of those funds than another entity. So being able to redistribute it that way.
Correct.
So would it be, let's say we go ahead with this, would it, could we agree that the board would have a monthly update on this
Absolutely.
expense and what's coming from that expense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We could probably provide copies of the invoices as they come through, the detailed time review.
Sounds good.
And so I'm in favor of doing it, but I want to learn a little bit more about it, but without taking a lot of time. But what are the primary focuses of, I mean, is this relief or is it, what are businesses going to use this for?
This
To
is
pay employees or
probably not,
to
especially
pay
if
for
they,
extra considerations that they've got to do to keep it? Okay, that makes
absolutely.
sense. Okay.
And this one does extend to mortgages and rent.
Okay.
So there is some
Some relief
additional
there.
relief
If they're
outside,
not making enough money to cover, okay, mortgage and rent.
but it's all on reimbursement basis, so it
And-
has to have already occurred.
And anything that they can document that they've had to incur as far as extra expenses to try to comply with the
Right,
things necessary to keep doors open.
exactly.
And is this also the program that will help potentially the city get reimbursed for their, but in a separate form or that comes under this contract as well?
It
Keeping all
does
that
not.
straight.
That's Monica.
So you're taking care of that? Okay.
She's been tracking it from day one when we knew the money was available at the fed level.
Yeah.
And
And so this just allows businesses to have somebody to go to keep all this straight without taxing the
You don't want
time for city
Right.
staff.
And in addition, Dwayne Lavery is also reaching out to those businesses and
Uh-huh.
helping to
Figure
push
this-
the information,
Yeah, okay, good.
get it into the rankings.
Okay, I'm ready for it. It's part of the
Okay.
else may have questions?
Anything else? Do I just need to do the resolution or do you need a motion for contract too? Okay, I thought so too. Resolution 2020-04, a resolution approving the terms of an agreement between the City of Marshfield and Lisa McCarthy.
Move it.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Our next item is the Elm Street expansion. This was left on the agenda in case there was any discussion that wanted to take place or additional questions that we could help with on this process. That was, of course, one of our lengthy topics last night at the work session. So if you've thought of any other questions that we can try to get answers to, we wanted to leave it here to get that opportunity.
I'm satisfied with what we asked last night for my part.
All right, then we will continue on. Okay, number of firework tents in Marshfield. Patsy Brown. Is Patsy?
No, she didn't have the capability to do Zoom.
Okay.
So I just told her that we would request in the packet
Okay. So we have a request from Patsy Brown in the packet for consideration, and I'm waiting through here real quick. If anyone has any questions, we can discuss now, or if you think we need to add this as a future agenda item, we could also do that.
I'm not sure if we can. I mean, is there a precedent for limiting? And then if you limit it, then maybe the out-of-towners will get the 3 of the 4 tents that we're authorizing.
Right.
But I would suggest maybe the local firework people to advertise local, because that would probably steer my car in that direction. I think we all want to support local.
Huh?
I would leave limit possible revenue.
Well, we could just as easily be limiting our local population.
Exactly.
Okay, we will proceed. Marshfield Harvest Days, Dale Harlow. I believe he is asking for roads to be closed, is that right?
Move to approve.
Second.
Approved, second. All in favor?
Aye.
He asks for it every year, so.
All right, Monica, presentation and exception of 2020 mid-year financials.
So by law, we have to publish our 6-month financials in the local newspaper. So this is where we are. And I put in there that it's cash basis and it's unaudited because it's not the same as our audited financial statements, but it is what it is. It's where we are to June 30th.
Do you need formal approval of these?
I think we normally do.
I'll take a motion to accept the semi-annual financial statement.
Approve.
Second. Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to get to the point where you get to hear me talk a lot. So in the annexation of the city of Marshfield into the fire protection district, we noted that the fire department is referenced, or the fire chief is referenced in much of our code, in many of our ordinances. And so this next portion is an effort to either redirect, rephrase, or remove those specific attributes that are no longer needed as we move forward without the city fire department. So what I'm going to try to do is I'll introduce it as Bill 2020-36, and I'll try to tell you very briefly what was changed within the document, and then I'll read it for first approval and second approval. Is that okay?
How many of these agenda items are part of that process?
The rest of the agenda.
Okay. That sums it up.
Yep.
Except
We do it as a group.
the last one.
Well, the last one is kind of a yes and no. It's something that came up because of it. Anyway, okay, so bill number 2020-36, this particular area, we removed a reference to the fire chief from the officers that are appointed by the mayor. So Bill number 2020-36, an ordinance amending section 115.020 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on appointed officers to remove fire chief.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-36, an ordinance amending section 115.020 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on appointed officers to remove fire chief.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
I'll make sure you're caught up with me here. Okay, bill number 2023-7 is, if you look in A, subsection 3, the second line, you'll see fire protection district. That was a rephrasing from fire department. Other than that, there are no other changes in this document, so I will read the bill. Bill number 2020-37, an ordinance amending section 210.380 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on false reports.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Second reading. Bill number 2020-37, an ordinance amending section 210.380 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on false reports.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Okay, bill number 2023-8, if you look under the heading fire zone, in the second line, you will see fire protection district fire marshal instead of city of Marshfield Fire Department fire marshal. Other than that, there are no other changes within this document. I'll do the first reading. Bill number 2020-38, an ordinance amending section 570A of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on loitering, trespassing, and prohibited parking in fire zones, changing the definition of fire zone.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Second reading. Bill number 2020-38, an ordinance amending section 210.570, section A of the City Marshfield City Code, being a section on loitering, trespassing, and prohibited parking in fire zones, changing the definition of fire zone.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
I told you, I only make it through 2. So that's starting to fumble.
Good.
Okay, 2023-9. If you look under section 2C, in the second line, we have changed fire department to district fire department. And then on the next page, section 3, subsection E, close to the bottom, you will see a reference to the district fire department. And on page 4, section C, display fireworks. Number 2, in the second line, district fire department. And on the last page, under D in cancellations, at the end of the first line, the district fire chief. Those are the changes within this document. I'll give the first reading. Bill number 2020-39, an ordinance amending section 210.580 BCD of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on fireworks, changing the reference of Marshfield Fire Department and Marshfield Fire Chief to District Fire Department and District Fire Chief.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Bowers, Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-39, an ordinance amending section 210.580 BCD of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on fireworks, changing the reference of Marshfield Fire Department and Marshfield Fire Chief to District Fire Department and District Fire Chief.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Okay. 2020-40 is on burning permits. Sections changed in here. There's a few of them. If you'll go to C, the second line down, you'll notice there's reference now to the district fire marshal or district fire chief. That same is made in D, district fire marshal, district fire chief. It also gives or other designated representative as authorized by the district fire chief. On the second page in E, subsection 3, you'll notice those same references. In F, first line, you have those same references again. Also in the third line, you will have those same references. And if you flip to the last page, the very first words here are Marshfield Fire Protection District. Those are the changes within this document. I'll give the first reading. Bill number 2020-40, an ordinance amending section 210.1105 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on burning.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-40, an ordinance amending section 210.1105 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on burning.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Bill number 2020-41 has probably the most changes, but they're the easiest to go through. This section was what basically established the fire department and the fire chief. So we are removing the first three sections here. We are changing the powers and duties to reflect the district fire chief and assistant fire chief to have the authority for fires within our municipality. We are removing the mutual aid and emergency assistance section. Down in false alarms, we are changing reference from the Marshfield Fire Department to the Fire Protection District. Under false alarm, that's the end of the second line. If you turn the page, it's in A, reflects the fire chief. In C, the Fire Protection District. In D, also the Fire Protection District in the first line and the third line. In B, at the end of the first line, Fire Protection District. In C, 4 lines down, 5 lines down, and a couple other times throughout there, changes department to Fire Protection District. If you turn the page again, the last line of the top paragraph references Fire Protection District. Under D, subsection 1, we have 2 additional Fire Protection District changes. Same for 2. The large paragraph there has several changes, all to Fire Protection District. Subsection E also changes department to Fire Protection District. The next page in G, there are numerous changes from department to Fire Protection District, and those are the only changes within this document. First reading, bill number 2020-41, an ordinance amending chapter 203 of the Marshfield City Code, being a chapter on fire department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-41, an ordinance amending chapter 203 of the Marshfield City Code, being a chapter on fire department.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Okay. Bill 2020-42, there are 2 changes here. Section 310.010, authority of the police department, and this is changed to the Fire Protection District. And you'll also notice a change in subsection C. where it also reflects fire protection district. Those are the only changes in this document on your first reading. Bill number 2020-42, an ordinance amending section 310.010 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on authority of police department and fire protection district officials.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading. Bill number 2020-42, an ordinance amending section 310.010 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on authority of police department and fire protection district officials. Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Okay. Bill number 2020-43, there are two changes within this. Section 310.20, obedience to police department and fire protection district, is changed from fire department. And also in the last line of the sentence beneath that is changed to fire protection district.
Move to approve. To go read it. Oh,
Yeah, sorry. You have to listen to me first. Bill number 2020-43, an ordinance amending section 310.020 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on obedience to police department and fire protection district officials.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yeah.
Second reading, bill number 2020-43, an ordinance amending section 310.020 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on obedience to the police department and the fire protection district officials.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Okay. Bill 44,
Let's table this one.
table this one. Seriously, let me use this all seriously?
He wants to study. He wants to study.
Okay. This is, yeah, it is. And what we've done is changed it from the fire department to any fire department, regardless of their affiliation. So, first reading, bill number 2020-44, an ordinance amending section 340.020 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on crossing fire hose.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-44, an ordinance amending section 340.020 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on crossing fire hose.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
I'm sorry, we have a whole other page to go. Okay, number 45, the change made is in the middle of this. We change it from fire department to fire protection district. Bill number 2020-45, an ordinance amending section 340.050 of Marshfield City Code, being a section when permits required for parades and processions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-45, an ordinance amending section 340.050 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section when permits required for parades and processions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
All right. Bill number 46, this is within the electric code section of our building codes, and we have removed all references to fire chief, fire department, fire anything. So, bill number 2020-46, an ordinance amending section 500.272 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on duties of building inspector.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-46, an ordinance amending section 500-2.272 of the Marshfield City Code, being a section on duties of building inspector.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Bill number 47 does the same thing 46 did, so I'm just going to read it. Bill number 2020-47, an ordinance amending section 500.2 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on implementation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes. Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-47, an ordinance amending section 500.273 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on implementation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Montgomery, Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
48 does the same thing. I'll just read it. Bill number 2020-48, an ordinance amending section 500.274 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on authority of building inspector.
Move to approve.
Second.
Go ahead.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-48, an ordinance amending section 500.274 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on authority of building inspector.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Okay. Number 49 also removes all reference to fire chief. Bill number 2020-49, an ordinance amending section 500.276 of the Marshfield Fire Code being a section on stop work order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading. Bill number 2020-49, an ordinance amending section 500.276 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on stop work order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Number 50 does the same thing. It removes reference to a fire chief. Bill number 2020-50, an ordinance amending section 500.277 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on filing of appeal.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-50, an ordinance amending section 500.277 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on filing of appeal.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Bill number 51, the change made is at the very end, on the second page, the last sentence of G was added. And the removal of the fire department reference was made in there. So basically, this is just saying if we needed their assistance, we could ask for it. Bill number 2020-51, an ordinance amending section 500.290 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on building inspector, building official duties.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-51, an ordinance amending section 500.290 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on building inspector, building official duties.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Bill number 52, we're getting really close, guys. Bill number 52, if you'll look under section A, subsection 3, the end of the first line, we've referenced fire protection district instead of fire department. That is the only change in this document. Bill number 2020-52, an ordinance amending section 508.060 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on duties of building inspector, procedure, and notice.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Second reading, bill number 2020-52, an ordinance amending section 508.060 of the Marshfield City Code being a section on duties of building inspector, procedure, and notice.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
And our last bill is to remove a section from a schedule on the parking lots. And it's because this will no longer be city property, correct? Correct. Okay. Last bill. Bill number 2020-53, an ordinance amending Schedule 5 of Title 3 Traffic Code of the Municipal Code of the City of Marshfield, Missouri by prohibiting the parking of trucks or unattached trailers licensed by the state of Missouri in excess of 12,000 pounds in the parking lots of the city parks, the city hall, and removing the city parking lot located adjacent to the city fire department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Bill number 2020-53, an ordinance amending Schedule 5 of Title 3 Traffic Code of the Municipal Code of the City of Marshfield, Missouri by prohibiting the parking of trucks or unattached trailers licensed by the state of Missouri in excess of 12,000 pounds in the parking lots of the city parks, the city hall, and removing the city parking lot located adjacent to the city fire department.
Move to approve.
Or
Second.
second, whatever.
Roll call?
You did.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
All right. Future agenda items. We have nothing that I'm carrying over from the current agenda. Is there anything new you would like to add?
Congratulations.
Okay, that's nice, isn't it? All right,
Hang on. Can we look at term limits?
yes, term limits. We'll add that to the next agenda. Term limits. Any other items for consideration? If not, we will take a motion to enter a closed session.
Second.
All in favor, or roll call, excuse me.
Foster,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
All right. Now I've asked Doug to stay in for this.